I stood in my car. Engine off. Rain hitting the windshield. And I just sat there, thinking about how long I had been lying to myself. I gave 3 years to a man I thought was everything. 3 years of my mornings, my late nights, my trust, my softness. And the worst part? He didn't even fight for me when it ended. He just let me go. But today, I'm not here to talk about him. I'm here to talk about what happened after. Because what came after, I never saw it coming. And it changed everything. I've always been careful with my heart. My mom used to call me her little overthinker. I'd laugh, but she wasn't wrong. So when Daniel walked into my life, I didn't fall fast. I want you to know that. I was careful. I watched. I waited. We met at my friend Tara's birthday dinner. He sat at the wrong table by mistake and laughed about it, completely unbothered. No awkwardness. Just this easy, open laugh. I remember thinking, this man is either very confident or very foolish. Turned out he was very good at pretending to be one, while being the other. He texted first. He remembered my coffee order on our third date without me telling him. He held doors open. Not in that performative, look at me way. Just quietly, like it was simply the right thing to do. I told my best friend Maya, I think this one might actually be different. She smiled and said, they always seem different at the beginning, Elena. I should have listened. 6 months in, something shifted. I noticed it, the way you notice a small crack in the ceiling. You see it. You register it. And then you convince yourself it's nothing. It's been there forever. It's fine. He started canceling plans. Not often, just enough. A dinner here, a weekend trip there. Always with a reason that sounded completely reasonable. And then came the phone. He started leaving the room to take calls. Once, I wouldn't have thought twice. Twice, I noticed. 3 times, 4 times, 5. I asked him about it one evening. I kept my voice calm, gentle. I didn't want to be that girl, the suspicious, insecure one. He laughed. Actually laughed. Work stuff, babe. You know how it gets. I nodded. I smiled. I believed him. Because when you love someone, really love them, you choose to believe the story that hurts less. Can I ask you something? Have you ever ignored a feeling because you were terrified of what it meant? Because I did. For 4 whole months, I ignored a quiet voice inside me that kept whispering, something is wrong, Elena. Something is wrong. I silenced that voice every single time. I wish I hadn't. It wasn't dramatic. There was no big confrontation, no screaming, no hotel doorway moment like in the movies. It was a Monday afternoon. He'd left his jacket at my place over the weekend. He had given me a key months earlier, said it meant something. So I drove over to drop it off. I let myself in, called his name. Silence. And then I saw it. On the kitchen table, a birthday card. Open, face up. I wasn't snooping. I wasn't even looking. It was just there. I read it. I don't know why. Maybe I already knew. The name signed at the bottom was not mine. The words inside were words I thought were only for me. I stood there for a long time. The kind of stillness that comes right before your whole world rearranges itself. I set his jacket on the chair. Slowly. I placed the key on the table beside the card. Carefully. And I walked out. No broken plates. No voicemail full of tears. I had too much dignity to fall apart inside someone else's lie. I made it to my car. And then I fell apart. I cried for a very long time. Alone. Just me and the rain and all those wasted months. But when the tears finally stopped, and they did stop, I made myself one promise. Never again. Never again would I make myself small to fit inside someone else's deception. 3 months passed. I threw myself into work. My girls dragged me to brunches I didn't want to go to. I ate the eggs. I drank the mimosas. I laughed at the right moments. And then went home and felt absolutely nothing. I told myself I was healing. Maybe I was. But some nights, healing feels a lot like just going through the motions and hoping something eventually sticks. Then one Tuesday, the most ordinary Tuesday of my entire life, my laptop died in the middle of a deadline. I grabbed my things and rushed to the coffee shop downstairs. Sat down. Reached into my bag. No charger. I was about 5 seconds from actual tears, which sounds dramatic, but the deadline was real. When the man sitting at the table next to me looked up from his book, an actual physical book, not his phone, a book. He said, "I have a USB-C adapter if that helps." Just like that. Calm, quiet. Like offering to help a stranger was the most natural thing. Not my type. Or at least, he wasn't what I thought my type was. He wasn't flashy. He didn't have Daniel's easy, practiced charm. He was just steady. The way still water is steady. The way a Sunday morning feels steady. We talked for 2 hours. I missed my deadline. I did not care even a little bit. And when we were finally getting up to leave, I gave him my number. Before he could ask. Because I'd spent 3 years waiting for a man to show up, and I was done waiting. That's the thing about unexpected love. It doesn't announce itself with roses and grand gestures. It shows up on a Tuesday. With a phone charger. And a patience you didn't even know you were starving for. James and I have been together for 8 months. He still brings his book to the coffee shop. I still tease him about it. He says reading keeps him sane. I tell him he's the most sane person I've ever been close to. And sometimes, not often, but sometimes, I think about Daniel. Not with longing, not anymore. With something that feels closer to gratitude. Because losing someone who was completely wrong for me made room, made space, for someone who is quietly, steadily, genuinely right. I told Maya about it a few weeks ago. All of it. The Tuesday, the book, the phone charger. She laughed and then got serious and said, "Maybe the love you plan for is never the love that actually finds you." I've been thinking about that ever since. Because she's right. I spent years trying to build something with a man who was always half somewhere else. And then love found me, on the most random Tuesday, in the most ordinary coffee shop, over a USB-C adapter. The greatest love story of my life didn't begin when everything went right. It began the moment I finally walked away from everything that was wrong. If Elena's story touched you, I want to hear yours. Have you ever found love somewhere you completely didn't expect? Or maybe you're still in your rainy car moment right now. Either way, drop it in the comments. I read every single one. If you're new here, subscribe. I tell new stories every week. Stories about love, heartbreak, second chances, and all the messy, beautiful things in between. Hit the bell so you never miss one. And remember, your Tuesday is coming. Maybe it already has.